my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. 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 I'm not the mistakes that I have made, or any of the things that cause me pain. I am not the pieces of the dream I left behind. I am light. 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 I am not the color of my eyes. I am not the skin on the outside. I am not my age. I am not my race. My soul inside is all light. All light. All light. Yeah. All light. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light. Yeah. I am divinity defined. I am the God on the inside. I am a star, a piece of it all. I am light.
Good morning, and welcome, welcome, welcome. I can already hear that there's a little bit of interference with my signal. So 301675. I just can you hear me? Okay, am I flowing?
Yes, we hear you.
Thank
Okay.
you, my love. Thank you. And if I break up, just let me know. I'll adjust.
Okay.
Welcome again, everyone. This is your ReBirth Sunday, and I am your spiritual midwife, LaTanya Taylor, the Rev Coach, also affectionately known as the Juicy Spirit Mama, the Juicy Sensei, some people call me, and the Priestess of Purpose, Pleasure, and Passion, in that order. And it's my pleasure and my honor to be here this morning to pour just a little bit on you, some of the portion of the word that I have prepared for Tacoma Park Metaphysical Chapel. If you are available to join at 11 o'clock, I would love to kiss your pretty faces and see you and just feel your energy. And it's always exciting to have people who are already connected to your vibration. And so today we are going to go a little higher. I did not get a chance to see who exactly was the first person on the call this morning. It's been a long time since we have pulled to in advance to confirm the message that we're giving. So I feel like today I feel very led to just do that. So I'm going to deal with the first number that I see that's here. And so I'm going to do 717574. Can you hear me? 717574. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Sister Latanya. Good morning, everybody. It's Vanessa.
Good morning. Choose a number between 1 and 25. You'll be choosing for our group energy today. You'll be bringing that in for us, and we'll see what it is in a few minutes. What
15.
number?
Did you hear me, Latanya? 15?
Number 15.
Did you say
between
1 and 25?
Between 1 and 25. Okay.
Yeah, 15.
Thank you. All right, so I'm going to put you back on mute. So we'll check to see if Spirit is what Spirit is going to confirm and lift up in this morning. So let me just tell you, life is good, honey. Life is really good, especially when you just decide that you're going to live your life on your terms. Sometimes when you first make that kind of decision, it may feel like all hell breaks loose when you make that decision, whether the hell breaks loose in you, whether the hell breaks loose in the decisions that you are making that affects other people. Sometimes the hell breaks loose in others that you have been making accommodations for. And sometimes you don't even realize how the accommodations have kept you fixed in one position in recycling that which no longer serves you. But when you break through, if you don't have the faith, if you haven't seen it yet, I just want to encourage you to borrow my faith. If you would just borrow in the faith even of those who have who come on and they share their testimonies of really applying. Because, see, there's one thing to have faith, but there's another thing to apply faith. And applied faith is something that is rich because it's a choice. It's a choice is when we say it is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things unseen. See, when you have faith, you can just stay in hope. And that's what a lot of so-called believers do. You stay in hope, and then you create a whole identity around whatever doctrine you've been taught based on hope. But applied faith moves you. It is the catalyst that moves you out of hope and feeds the law of vibration such that it takes you higher. So today my intention is for us to vibrate higher and to share with you a little bit, just a teaser. Maybe I say that, but we're going to let Spirit do what Spirit does, because I'm actually going to exegete the text at Tacoma Park. Oh, yeah, your girl can exegete a text, because not only was I trained to do it, but it is something that I absolutely enjoy doing, and it has fed me on my journey. But today I just want to propose to you ways that you can rebirth everything so that you can vibrate higher. I want to propose to you three immediate ways that we can begin to vibrate higher, because everyone is familiar with the law of attraction through The Secret. And the law of attraction is one of the universal laws. However, the law of vibration is first. In fact, the law of attraction comes after you vibrate higher, after the law of vibration. In other words, you must be able to manage your vibration in order to even become the point of attraction. And a lot of times when we go through one process that births us, whether the process is in a workshop, a learning environment, or the processes like the ones that I teach, it's easy to say what you have done and try to live off of the energy of what you have done for years. And then you wonder sometimes why you get to a certain point and you can't quite go any further, or feels like struggle and strain. And oftentimes we even do that with our marriages, with the church or whatever that we attended, the tribe that we hang out with. And many times the idea of diversifying happens by happenstance. You may go somewhere, meet some people, and get introduced to a new food or a new sound, a new music, a new something. And yet the opportunity to choose that as a lifestyle is one that I feel like I have done. I'm a natural seeker. I remember the very first book that gave a premonition of my life was The Road Less Traveled. Now, trust and believe, everybody does not want to get on the highway and choose the roads less traveled. Many people want to choose the roads that have been recommended. But, honey, you know when you know that you know that you know, your GPS will give you a route, and when you get on the route, you will say, I know that there is another way. I know that this thing is taking me all around the mulberry bush, but it's the GPS system, that's connected to the satellite. But see, the GPS system was programmed by somebody else, by somebody else's limitations. And so then sometimes it's not always updated. So, yes, it's giving you a map. And some people have to be wedded to the GPS system, honey, because when you go into a new city, you don't know the twists and the turns. And so you use that as a guide. But when you are on your own land, when you come into yourself, and I'm not talking about trying to save the earth and save our daughters and save our sons and save everybody else, because there are many of you who are attached to very noble causes. But what happens, just like The Secret, many people are introduced to something out of order. And so, yes, many of us have come from a doctrine of being saved, and then we attach to the idea of saving others, but we have not saved ourselves. We have not saved yourselves. I want everybody, if you're not holding the phone or you have it on speaker, if you could put it on speaker and just take your left hand and your right hand, take your left hand and put it on the back of your head, and take your right hand and put it on the front of your head. And this is a technique that literally, it's called Save Yourself, the Save Yourself technique. When you get overwhelmed and when you start trying to figure it out and getting stuck in your head, it reminds you to go within. I'm willing to save myself. And when you do that, if you start to do it not only when you're in crises, not only when you just are curious about getting something, because the word says, in all thy getting, get understanding. And I said to you on another call, don't just stop there. Rebirth the idea of standing under anything. Understanding is the first phase of the journey. But when you decide to rebirth everything, inner standing becomes the next phase of the journey. Inner standing, when you stand inside of yourself. Oftentimes, we're okay with understanding, and we'll stay right there with that level of understanding. But see, it's just like the Bible. The Bible is not wrong in terms of the principles and the codes and such that are in there. But the Bible is full of codes and levels and layers of symbols, and it's codified. So therefore, when you understand at one level, if you stay there, and honey, there are people, check out, if you can, go check out Bishop Carlton Pearson's story come Sunday on Netflix, and maybe we can come back in here and have a discussion or discuss it in Good Girls Gone Goddess, because it's a great illustration, and I'm glad that I have developed a personal relationship with him. I hadn't talked to him in a minute, but he's glad that he has developed a personal relationship with people who have rebirthed everything, because when he stopped standing under what his father and his mother had the religion that he inherited, he started to have his own revelation of something that freed him up. Now, when I said earlier that all hell will break loose sometimes when you make a decision, Come Sunday is a great example of that, because he couldn't stand in his own integrity and teach it the same way, and there were some repercussions by the people who wanted to just keep it the same old way. And so you all know that when you work with me, I'm focused on purpose, pleasure, and passion. But in that, you start to see how it starts to rebirth everything. You first, then others. And you will start to affect those things around your life. You will choose your moments or be able to recognize the moments when you are in the caterpillar phase. And so one of the three things that I want to give you, because the thing that motivated ReBirth International was my story, my rebirth, and my rebirth began with the joy of the second line in New Orleans. I went to school at Southern University in Baton Rouge, and every time we would get to the end of a party, because you know when you're in college, there's a party usually every Saturday night. If it's not on campus, it's off campus. I don't know what these youngins are doing now, but back in the day, honey, we had a good time in college. And so at the end of the party, anybody that went to Southern University, shout out to you. Everybody knows about a Nick T party. Nick T was the DJ that when you went to his party, you came in dry, but you left out wet. Whatever that means on whatever level you want to take it. You came in dry, but then you may have came in wet, depending on the people who got a jump start before they came in. But no guarantee you left out of there nice and drenched. And every time you knew that the party was over, there was a couple of songs that he would begin to play, and they were all New Orleans runs. And one of them would be his buck jump time. When he started playing that buck jump time, oh yeah, you put your finger in the air, baby, and you start to buck jump and represent wherever you were from. But see, if you were from Chicago, or if you were from Detroit, Michigan, or if you were from New York, or you're from Mississippi and Dallas, that's what I liked about Southern University, is that you had an opportunity to rebirth everything, because you came into proximity to people from all different walks of life who dress different, talk different, walk different, listen to different music. And so you got a level of exposure that helped you to learn and to edify your own self. And so the people from the area, when we first went freshman year, we didn't know what was going on, but it was enough people from New Orleans and Baton Rouge and other places in Louisiana that they would just start going in, kind of like African dance, kind of like, and I didn't know anything about African dance at that time. Kind of like any other type of trance dancing that would begin to happen, and something would just take over your body. And then when they go from buck jump time, they go to a song called Do What You Wanna. Do what you wanna. Hang on the corner. And there's some more lyrics that I will not say. But when that Do What You Wanna came on, you knew it was of the party. And everybody would begin the second line. And that began my love affair with New Orleans. And of course, I didn't know that I would go on to live in New Orleans. I didn't know that I would go on. But something about that lived in my spirit, that it even became a part of my ministry and my story, because after college, I went into a journey that was not the common one. A good old Catholic school girl that goes on to now start to profess that she's Muslim. What in the world? You Muslim? You doing what? You can imagine the backlash and the questions and the frowns and even the gossip right within my own family. And so after I did that run and that walk, I there was something in my spirit that began to get free, and something that wasn't attached to the dogma and the headpiece and the diet and all the rules and the regulations and the fear of God. And I started to feel that thing, you can do what you want to. You can do what you want to, baby. And so and that rebirth had a whole new meaning for me in my own life, because it got me through moments when my vibration was so low. And so I want to propose to you as women, the thing that when I hit that phase of my transition and my journey, I will never forget that the spiritual mothers who walk with me now or taught me and groomed me back then, that a woman always has tools. Her tools are prayer, her dance, and her song. Her prayer, her dance, and her song. And how this connects to the law of vibration is, if you have lost your prayer tongue or you only know how to pray the prayers that you have been taught. Now, many of you that doesn't apply to if you have been coming into this space. You've heard me pray, and you hear me pray in a unique way for many of you. If you are a metaphysician or you have already started to study the science of prayer, you probably have already made adjustments in your prayer, because there is praying the rote prayers that you've been taught. Some of us only still know, now lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. And if I should die before I wake. You understand? What I'm saying is some of us still have a nursery school rhyme relationship with our communication to the divine. And in order to rebirth everything, you must vibrate higher even in your prayer life. And then there are those of us who pray sporadically. And prayer keeps you clean. Prayer, not just prayer in terms of the rote prayer, but your most sincere conversation with God. What's up with you, God? I don't understand why this is happening. I gave you faithful service, and now just tell the truth. But many of us think we have to go in feeding an ego-centered God. And so that's a whole nother talk. I love talking about prayer. I do encourage you to get a couple of teachings that I have done called Can You Hear Me Now? And recently I just did one called The Anatomy of Prayer. Hopefully I'll get a chance to put some of those in a bundle for people who are just getting introduced to this type of affirmative prayer. And the second thing is her dance. Many of us stop dancing. If you come from Pentecostal or any type of Jehovah's Witness or rigid science of religion that tells you to stop dancing, don't sway your hips, that's the beginning of taking you away from the power of your womanhood. A woman needs to be able to dance to carry herself through spiritual warfare, because when you can dance, and not just praise dancing in the church, because sometimes praise dancing in the church comes from a pain-based thought process, and that's why you hear the screaming and the wailing and all of that. But sometimes your praise dance can look like a good old twerk. Your praise dancing can look like the Haitians and the Africans who dance with their whole body, their heads, their hips, their arms. Your praise dancing is your dance, is your sign language. Because everybody can't talk on the earth. Everybody can't hear on the earth. But if you can't talk and you can't hear, you still can find a way to dance and move your body. And the people who cannot dance because they do not have legs, then they may have a song. You may keep, the third thing is find a song. You don't have to know how to sing, but music is an energy and a vibration that can carry us higher. It can carry us higher than even some gospel songs. You might have to check it, because if the gospel song takes you to I'm coming up on the rough side of the mountain, then you are affirming the struggle. But when you find songs that take you to a higher vibration, sing them in the moments when you can't get through to your children, when you can't find out why this is happening in other areas of your life where you are in leadership or you are responsible for. You know that there's a song. Find you a song that you can sing, the song that takes you in the zone that takes you right back to the dance, the song that takes you right back to the prayer. And this is why praise and worship is not just based on your denomination. Praise and worship is based on your decision to rebirth everything. And any moment can be the moment that the word says, I will bless the Lord at all times, and his praises shall continuously be in my mouth. We've taken that literal because our praises are about him instead of our praises being about the love of God. The praises are about even ourselves in that. And so I will bless the Lord. What Lord? Lord has been taught to be something that is outside of you. The Lord being something that is the law of life. Bless the Lord, the law of life. Lord means law of life. Life. I bless my life at all times because there are some other options. So I bless the Lord. I bless my life. I bless my head. I bless my hands. I bless my feet. I bless my mouth. I do it. I'm not waiting on somebody else to do it. And no matter what my circumstances look like, I'm going to bless it anyhow at all times. When? And I'm not just going to bless it when I get the breakthrough. At all times. I'm not just going to bless it when I'm waiting to get out of a situation. I'm going to bless it with a demonstration. Sometimes I have to write the check when I don't know where the resource is going to come from. But I'm sending a signal to the universe that I believe. I believe, and not only when you move from belief, you move into knowing. And there's some people who do it as a life. The wealthy do not consult their bank accounts when they get ready to create a project. T.D. Jakes talks about this on a great YouTube interview with this Euro-American guy. He talks about how he wanted to write his first movie, and when he went to create the film, he was worried about how much savings he had in his account. But when he decided that he was going to do it, he got into the room with some people. Sometimes you just need to be in the room with people who are willing to rebirth everything. See, when you would go back and forwards into rooms where people are still talking the same old thing, they're still singing the same old songs, they're still dancing the same old way. When you even if it's in your own family, even if you're making love to the person that is doing it the same old way, expecting you to do it, even if you're married, sometimes your wedding vows are your crypt. That your wedding vows are your tomb, and you need to rise again and rebirth your wedding vows. Because, yes, until life and death, till death do us part, and many of you are already separated in your marriages because the death already happened in the marriage because you pronounced it in the vows. Look at the vows you've taken anywhere. And look at how it's showing up in your life. That might need to be rebirth. Rebirth everything with the decision to live and to vibrate higher. And it is the gift that keeps on giving. I'm a witness. No matter how much I think that I have hit this spot of freedom, and no matter how much Spirit has revealed to me, Spirit keeps on revealing to me as I'm teachable and I'm coachable and I'm trainable. I have my elder. My elders are covering me. My elders are teaching me. My elders are showing me how to do things, to dedicate food to entities and deities and certain things that govern my life. How to go and gather herbs that are medicine in my life, how to sing songs that are medicine in my life, and how I can, in preparing me to be able to groom and to teach others on the indigenous knowing, an indigenous, a cosmic level. I didn't know that I would get this here in the journey. I was okay with my journey 10 years ago when I broke free. I was okay with my journey 15 years ago, or 20 years ago, I don't remember the number, when I left the Nation of Islam. I was okay then. I felt good about it then. And then the call just keeps on calling me. And those who are who feel the belly jump that are coming, because the word says, my sheep know my voice. Not that anybody is sheep, because I don't ever want anybody to be sheeple. But what I'm saying is, You hear me. You hear when the call to rebirth everything. When I have people that come to me all the time that have been diagnosed with depression, and so now that becomes a part of their story. You rebirth that story, rebirth it, rebirth it by choice. And you cannot always have a birth by yourself. You need a midwife. You need a doula. You need somebody to hold your hand sometimes, and that's okay. Sometimes the baby that you're getting ready to birth may be breached. The baby may have the cord wrapped around its neck, and sometimes you need assistance and triage, and it's okay. Don't judge yourself on your journey if you've lost your prayer, you've lost your dance, you've lost your song. And that's okay if you never danced before. If you're a little awkward, you got 2 left feet. You can learn. You can rebirth that idea too. Rebirth it all and make a choice to vibrate higher, because the law of attraction is secondary to the law of vibration. How you start your day, how you end your day, makes the decision between you becoming the priestess of your household and your life. And some of us know that it's time for us to rebirth, because we don't want to get up out of the bed in the morning. We don't want to sing that song. We don't want to do it sometimes. It's a payoff to being a victim sometimes. But, oh, baby, when you start to get victory after victory, you start to be able to tell the testimony of how you shot crooked, but it went straight. Everything don't have to be perfect. And so that is just a segment of my word today. And so I'm opening up the lines, and I'm going to go on and check this Rhema that our sister helped us to pull today. And what she pulled for us to see, I didn't plan any of this. What I do is sometimes I do a pulse check to see what energy you all are waking up with and bringing into what do you need to hear. And so she pulled the room of courage. And look at God. Cannot make this stuff up. Look at what it says. The first sentence says, courage is faith in action. What did I say about applied faith? I did not plan this. I do this intentionally. To see your faith. Yeah. And it says, drawing this room indicates that you are being asked to recognize and honor the courage and the strength of your own spirit. As you do, you will grow in the understanding to continue traveling the road you have chosen. My God, I can't make this stuff up. I'm going to read that sentence again. As you do, you will grow in the understanding necessary to continue traveling the road you have chosen and to face with wisdom whatever challenges life brings. Anyone who has been sorely tested, suffered through the death of a loved one, been critically ill, recovered from an addiction, or broken the silence of spousal abuse, knows well the courage it takes to heal. The insight from these transforming experiences gives us hope and teaches us. And then look at that word, hope. I didn't know that word was in there. And teaches us that the reward for courage is wisdom.
Yes. Yes.
So if there have been no belly jumps in this today, then you're dead. And we need to breathe life into you. If you didn't have a belly jump in here today, all y'all should be running to the microphone when I open and say, who's ready to share where you heard a word for you? Now is your turn to teach in this space. Use your life to come forward.
Yeah.
The lines are open.
Good morning. Good morning. This is Sandy. Everything that you said, oh, wow, it just made my belly jump. I'm having chills right now because it's just, and when you spoke the rhymer of courage, and everything you said is what I'm living right now. I'm walking the way that I feel I should be walking right now. I'm doing what I need to be doing, and it's so wonderful. Oh, I just want to thank you. I thank you so much for all the wisdom and all the lessons that you teach, because without you, wow, we would be lost. So I just thank you for blessing me. Thank all my sisters for being there.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Anyone else who heard something in your spirit as you were listening?
Good morning. This is Tommy.
Good morning, beautiful. I miss your voice on these Sunday mornings.
First of all, I want to say thank you to LaTanya. And since I have been involved in community and ReBirth International, I can truly say I've rebirthed just about everything in my life, starting with grief. Starting with grief. I rebirthed that. I rebirthed the situation with my supervisor on my job. My supervisor and I now friends. We were enemies.
Oh, wow.
We were enemies. We sit down now. We have conversations together. He takes me out to lunch. Rebirth. I rebirthed my pleasure principle. I thought that I was just all dried up after going through this period of grief. But as the universe will have it, through prayer, through process, through tools, I rebirthed my pleasure. And I can tell you it's nothing like it. The more pleasure, the more rebirth. I've rebirthed my desire for my consulting business. I have a logo. I have letterhead. I have a business card. I'm working on a brochure, and I'm receiving solicitations. I'm registered to do business with the state of Virginia. And so I've rebirthed my spirituality, and so, everything is a rebirth. So what I would say to the sisters is just stay in process, I have new friends. I've rebirthed new friends. I hardly even see old friends anymore. So, and I've rebirthed the joy of oneness. So, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to quote that, honey. The more pleasure, the more rebirth.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Oh, my God. It works when you work it.
Yeah. Yes, it does.
And listen, we're laughing and giggling because you got to be in the room to understand the context of this juicy butterfly saying something like that. So get in the room with us so you can have this laugh with us. Yes, indeed. Thank you. Thank you for you gave me chills. I'm going to have you come back and share something. I think you got a word that you can give us on a Sunday. Now, yes, I'm putting you on the spot because
I've been more than happy
there
to do that. I've been waiting. I've told people I wish LaTanya would ask me to, one day LaTanya will ask me to do a speech.
Okay. Well, there you have it. Because you gave me chills when you said that regarding that supervisor. See, you had not told me about that, but I'm glad you shared that. That's powerful. So you got to bring that into yes, indeed. Anyone else?
Good morning, LaTanya. This is Beth.
Good morning.
Hi. This is Bessie. I have a lot. Listen, this morning, I've gone from, first of all, a person that was negative to I refuse to let any negativity in my life. Work-wise, I've gone from being a person that jumping from job to job. I just signed a 5-year contract.
All right.
I've gone from a person at work that just did enough to get by and not be in the forefront to being a lead, and now we're going a new contract and everyone has voted for me to be their lead. This is for Latanya especially. My daughter and grandsons are home.
My goodness.
And we are cultivating a whole new relationship. I've began to dream again.
Wow.
I just have a hope that I had lost. I have a hope for just great things happening. Everyone talks about how positive I am at work.
Lord have mercy. I'm going to have a carousel of you all. I wasn't expecting this. You all about to make me cry. You, Tommy. Oh, my goodness.
And
okay.
I have a sisterhood that I didn't like women before this, and I have a sisterhood now. I just reached out to some and said, I've been working a lot. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go on a new contract. I got a couple of days or whatever, and I want some sisterhood. That was the first thing on my mind was I want to hang out with some of my sisters.
Wow.
Speaking of which, I'm going to New Orleans October the 6th, and Chandrika and I are hanging out together.
Yes, indeed.
New friends.
All right now. Yes, indeed. Are you complete, Bessie?
Yes, I would just say it's just a whole new level or high vibration of living.
Yes. I say.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm so happy for you. I'm happy I'm happy to hear your voice as well. So give thanks for your manifestation. Yes. Anyone else? Thank you so much. Anyone else have something to share that you heard today from anything that I heard today? Anything that you heard today from what I said that made your belly leap, that opened up a possibility for something for you? And I don't want anyone to compare, because I know that this happens because y'all send me notes later. Well, I didn't want to come behind such and such because mine wasn't like that. I didn't know what to say after they said, and so rebirth that right now. Rebirth the spirit of comparison. I could do a whole Sunday word on how comparison is violence. It is an act of self-abuse. It's when you play small because of what has gone in front of you for somebody else. Rebirth right now the tendency to think that your voice doesn't have any power or doesn't matter in how you present it. Rebirth the thought that has you playing on the sidelines. Rebirth the idea that I'll just go in the group and as a way to hide instead of coming forward and saying what you got to say. Rebirth all of it, and not later. Rebirth the spirit of I'll do it later. Rebirth the energy of delay. Who am I talking to this morning? Who am I talking to?
Good morning. This is Nicole, and
good morning.
I just wanted to say thank you. The word that stuck out for me was courage when you began to read the rooms. Just having the courage to move beyond where I am and shifting the perception of how I see myself and declaring that I am whole rather than begging to be whole. Declare it.
Woo! Woo!
Yeah.
And just knowing that I already have it within me. There's nothing else that I need to do. And there's nothing else that I need to say. It's just being present with myself and having the courage to just be present with myself. I'm so grateful for this group of women. Thank you, LaTanya, just for always calling me forth, not allowing me to stay in the background. And I just want to say thank you.
Thank you. You dropped a word in here. You said instead of begging to be whole. Yes, indeed. Yes.
Yes.
Oh, that's good right there. Was that good to your spirit? Did that make anybody else's belly leap in here today?
Yes.
Can anybody remember a period when you were begging to be healed, begging to be heard, begging to be loved, begging to be supported, begging for money, begging for abundance, begging God? Anybody remember? Just raise your, I got my hand raised high up in the air. Remember. Do you remember when?
Remember.
But see, that's a good thing, because when you can remember when, it means you're not there anymore. But somebody on this call might still be begging. And that's okay, too, because your life just changed today. Because you know that you have another option to declare, to decree, to pray, to sing, to dance, to come forward when you feel like falling back. Yes, indeed. That's good right there.
Yes, it is. Very good.
All right. So at this time, we will go on and get ready to bless our womb space, the place of all creativity. It begins with our relationship with our physical womb, and then it extends into the womb of the universe. And we do that easily and effortlessly when we begin to just acknowledge that we don't walk alone. When we acknowledge the mothers who sometimes were not acknowledged when they walked on this planet. But now they're walking in another kind of walk. Imagine that. Some of them can be more assistance to you in this form than in the earthly form, because earth has limits. The earth suit, the earth body has limits. And we are not this suit. We are not this body. So when we bring forth and call forth the ancestors, you are sending a signal. You're raising an antenna to acknowledge that I do not walk alone. And I guarantee you that you can feel the energy of that presence right here, right now. But let's go on and confirm it. Speak the names of those mothers. Yes, the mothers, because they are often forgotten. The mothers are the ones who oftentimes had to play small just to live, just to survive. The mother, but that's not the beginning of our story. That might have been the most known version. But we are ancient people. So call back as far as you know and beyond. Speak their names into this space, Queen Mother.
Barnes,
Sarah Jackson,
Audrey Carroll, Maya Angelou,
Catherine Hamlet, Laura, Miss Walker,
Grandma Della. There you go. Ashe.
Ayana Kamala.
Ashe. Mother, Father, God, Holy Spirit, all that is, we know that we acknowledge the I am power as the eachness of our allness. We are connected to the one power, the one mind, the one spirit that is the universal mind, the universal power that governs all things. We call it by many different names in many different countries and many different tribes. But we thank you that this one power, this one energy is so divine that it transcends all of the names and limitations that we placed on this supernatural awareness. We thank you, Holy Spirit, for being in us, through us, and around us right here, right now, today. That our words have power, and we know that we have the power of life and death in our tongue. Today, we thank you that we are speaking life, that we are singing life, that we are dancing life, that we are praying life for ourselves, even when it feels like something in our lives has died, when we feel like something in our life has endured a season or it's over. Yes. We thank you that it's not final. We thank you that we are the rebirth. We are the phoenix rising from the ashes, and the word says that I will give you beauty for ashes. So let whatever needs to go, and let whatever needs to come. Any part of us that is standing in the way of what is coming, help to move. Any part of us that is standing in the way that is going, let us be moved out of the way. We bind the spirit of self-sabotage and self-doubt. Yes. We bind the spirit of self-betrayal, turning back on our own word to ourselves to rebirth. We bind that spirit and send it back to the nothingness from which it came. We bind the spirit of arrogance that is concerned about how we look to other people and how we sound to other people. Bind the spirit of arrogance on the womb today, such that we do not birth arrogant children who we cannot tell anything to. We bind the spirit of conflict in our household so that we can be the harmony. We let the harmony be reborn inside of us. We let the harmony be born on the inside in such that it's reflected even in our house and on our job and even wherever in the lives that we touch. We bind the spirit of fear and condemnation and judgment that continues to keep us separated from the love of God, that the word says neither height nor depth, that nothing can separate us. So we send it back to the nothingness from which it came. We declare and decree ourselves, our vibrations right now by choice and not by force. We thank you that we are choosing to rebirth, that we are choosing to vibrate higher, that we are touching areas in our lives and in the lives 7 generations before us and 7 generations behind us. We thank you that we are the ones that we have been waiting for, that today we decree and declare that we are willing to show up for ourselves, and in showing up for ourselves, that all other lives connected to us are shifted, changed, and rebirthed anyhow. We thank you, Holy Spirit. Then Nicodemus asked the question, shall I re-enter into my mother's womb and be born again? Well, we thank you, Holy Spirit, that Nicodemus showed us the human mind limit, but we know that the cosmic mind says yes, emphatically yes. Enter into the cosmos of the womb. Re-enter into the allness of the womb. Re-enter into the abundance of the womb. Re-enter into the unlimitedness of the womb. Re-enter into the womb, such so that I can be born again every day, night by night, day by day, moment by moment, inch by inch, that I am never committed to being the same way that I was just a few minutes ago. I thank you, Holy Spirit, that no one needs to give us permission to shift, to grow, to change, to heal, to thrive, and to take flight. And so we give thanks right here, right now, for each and every woman on this call. We give thanks for the lives that she is touching in her house. We give thanks for every woman on this call who has made a conscious decision and choice to show up in her life without apology. We thank you for eyes have not seen,
and ears have not heard the residue and the power of her rebirth. We thank you right here, right now, that the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable. That the words that I have sent forth to do accomplish that which I have sent them forth to do and not return to me or my sister's void. We let it be so, and so it is. I will see you all on the other side. I love you all, and there's nothing you can do about it. Ciao, everyone.
We love you, too.
I love you.
Yes.